Good evening and welcome to the Coach's Perspective here on Riverside TV as we are dwindling down and there's only one left in Riverside, and that is my alma mater, Ramona High School. And we're now joined by the head coach, Ken Mashinsky. How you doing, Ken?
Fantastic. In a good spot right now.
I'll tell you what, just coming over here, I had goosebumps. I had butterflies in my stomach. The Rams are on pace. I mean, you're playing in the semifinals. This is big news.
Yeah.
I think the third time this has really happened in school history. They've won 2 championships, and you're going for a third.
Right. They haven't been in the CIF semifinals since, I believe, 2003. Bert Esposito was the coach
that's
there,
right.
who's now at Temecula Valley doing a great job there in the semifinals.
In the semis?
I was actually at that game. It was Ramona versus Kaiser in 2003. I was standing on the Kaiser sideline because a buddy of mine, Phil Zelaya, was the defensive coordinator.
Okay,
Dick
Phil.
Bruick was the head coach. And I remember going to the snack bar and I bought a couple 50-50 tickets, and lo and behold, end of the third quarter came around. I'm standing on the sideline and I won the 50-50. So there you go.
There you go. So it could repeat itself again, and that's awesome, Coach.
Exactly.
I was at both CIF championships at Ramona, or Stekovich back in the day, and then Coach Markham in, I believe, 1988?
88.
88 was the last time I was at both games. They tied Damien, but it would be nice to see Ramona get a clear one all by yourself. And I'll tell you what has it been like for you the last couple of years here at Ramona?
It's been fantastic. You know, I just talked about it with a couple players today during our office hours. Just the transition from 3 years ago to what the expectation is now, it's been great. The kids bought in 3 years ago, they bought in last year, but this year they just seem to click. They seem to really understand it. And we've been fortunate. We've been fortunate through injuries. We've been fortunate through who we've played. I think that we played a tough preseason. Obviously, our league was tough.
Very tough.
And it has really prepared us to get to where we're at. And I'll tell you, there's a buzz around Ramona. There's a buzz around the community because this semifinal game is right around the corner.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, following you guys over the last couple of years, you brought in some guys that were part of that 1988 championship team. I think you have a couple on your staff as well.
We do. It's funny because now that I'm older and obviously they are older, I graduated in 1989, so we're all the same age. Their kids are now playing at Ramona. So, Frank Berber is there. Chris Wiley is
Those are my
there.
guys.
Yeah. Steve Sanchez. Justin Bruins, Adam Gonzalez, who wasn't a member of that, but he's our wide receiver coach. It's been great. You bring back those alumni, you bring in the community, and it's just a win-win situation for everybody.
Now, last year you guys took care of business. What was the score? 44-14? Is that what it was?
Against who?
Oh, your last game?
Yeah. Last game against Cantwell, we played really well, both sides of the ball. Offense was able to run the ball, kind of control the clock, throw when we needed to. We put up 24 in the first half. It was 24-0 going in, which is real nice. Our defense, they played a real bend, don't break mentality the first half. The second half, they came out and just dominated. The D-line, had several sacks. We gave up a couple big plays here and there, and we go away with a 44-14 win.
Yeah, in fact, I was calling a basketball game, calling a UC Riverside game up at Sacramento, and I had the score on my phone during the game. In fact, I mentioned it on the broadcast, and honestly, I think I texted you right afterwards.
Right.
It's just one of those moments I look back and I'm just so fired up, not only for you, for the school, but the community, because I remember back in the day when a local team would make a CIF semis or the finals, it really is a big deal. And what's it been like around campus?
It's been great. Like I say, I think our kids, our players, they really don't understand exactly how big it is, but they're starting to. Yesterday at practice, there was kind of a little buzz, but not what I expected. I was thinking, man, we're in the semifinals.
Yeah.
We're going to be pumped up, and they weren't. They were kind of mellow. I think today's practice, and I know our Wednesday night practice will be pretty high tempo. The kids around campus have been great. The fellow coaches, the administration. There's a real excitement around Ramona High School right now, and it's just great to be a part of it.
Now let's move forward to this week. Alhambra, the Moors. What are you taking away from them? They're ranked number 1 right now. They're 12-0. The first time they've been 12-0 since like the 1950s.
Correct.
I mean, what do you see in this team?
So Alhambra has a very, very good quarterback. The funny thing is he's a sophomore. He's young, but super, super accurate. He distributes the ball very well to everybody. He runs well, throws well. They have a couple playmakers, especially number 3, a pretty good running back. Their defense is just everywhere. They fly around the ball. They have guys in different spots. They don't just stay in one defense. So you could tell they're very well coached. But the one thing I take away from Alhambra is the fact that their special teams are extraordinary. You could tell that their coaching staff does a really good job, all facets of their special teams. So we're definitely going to prepare for that, and it's going to be a good game Friday night, no doubt about it.
Now, you have a pretty special quarterback of your own as well, who is a dual threat guy. I'll tell you what, seeing his growth in the last year has been something spectacular, right, especially here in Riverside. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It sure has. Diego Munoz is a junior, and he has grown immensely. And I'll take a little bit of credit for it, but I'll really give the credit to 2 guys. One is our quarterback coach, Carl Moore. He has just done a fantastic job. He was actually my quarterback back at King back in, 2005. Carl is a fantastic coach. But John Tibbles, who's the athletic director at
he was my coach
at Ramona. He I don't know why, but he really took a special interest in Diego, and he's kind of nurtured him and been tough on him, given him a little tough love, and he has just responded in such a great way. It is a true pleasure coaching Diego, and I expect not only big things from him Friday night, but as we move forward, looking on down the road, down to his senior year, he has to take over. He has to be that leader, and I think he knows that.
And anchoring that offense is really the running back, Dante Roby, who's just a phenomenal player in himself. You guys run better than Alhambra. They have a little bit on the throwing edge stat-wise, but tell us a little about your great running back.
Well, so, everybody talks about Dante, and I've come on the show and talked about Dante a lot, and I'll continue to. Last game, I think he had 22 carries, 190 yards for 4 touchdowns.
That's great.
Dante's fantastic. Played both ways with a broken hand. But I'll tell you, I think that the guy that gets overlooked a little bit is Kevin Sanders. He came out last game, had 2 touchdowns. I think he rushed for 122 yards, but everyone makes fun of him. He's only 5'5", 100
That's right.
100 and whatever pounds. But his attitude and his work ethic, as we have progressed into the CIF season, it's unparalleled. He's kind of a goofball. He dances around in practice. He has fun, and we kind of have to get on him a little bit.
Yeah.
But in the games, the last 2 games, he's shown something that I haven't seen the previous 10 games. And he said before we got into CIF, he texted me and he said, "Coach, I'm going to work hard. I'm not going to screw around anymore." And he has shown it. So, I love Dante Roby, but Kevin Sanders has really been the spark plug for us.
Well, that's great. Now, this Alhambra team can put the ball in the end zone. They're averaging a lot of points.
They are.
Can you tell us, your defense has really been surprising this year. I know that was the big question mark, talking to all the coaches, is what would Ramona's defense look like? Can you highlight some of those guys?
Well, I'll tell you, the hard thing about our football team, and it's not our offense or our defense or anything, is we don't have a guy. We don't have, like when we played Rosemead, we knew we had to stop number 4. We know against Alhambra, we have to stop number 2. We have to stop their quarterback. I don't know what other teams say about Ramona, because you can't just focus on one guy. And if we go to our defense, I don't know who I'd highlight. We have 4 extremely, tall. I think our defensive line averages 6'3". We have the 2 outside guys, Cato Davis and Ika Esau. They're probably 6'3", and then on the inside, our smallest guy is Alton Durden at 6'2", and then we have Danye Romaine, a basketball player at 6'6". So we're pretty big up front. Our backers are not the biggest guy. Bobby Villalobos is the only returning guy, and he probably is 5'8", 5'9". The tallest guy we probably has is number 13, Julian Castaneda, a senior, doing a great job. I believe he led our team in tackles this year during league season. And then an outstanding junior, number 6, Isaiah Reyes, playing great outside backer. And another guy who's really stepped up, who actually was almost a 1,000-yard rusher for us last year, is number 30, Brian Alvarenga.
I remember him.
And we just talked yesterday. I said, gosh, Brian, you're really improved on defense. And he said, I really understand the role now. I understand what it means to fill and what it means to cover. So, those backers, and then you couple in Dante Roby goes in and plays backer a lot. That's a great front 8 right there. But who we're really leaning on this week is the back guys. Kevin Sanders is going to play safety with Marcos Hidalgo back there. But our 2 corners, Alex Martinez and Raymond Valdez, are going to have to come up huge because they throw the ball a lot this week.
Now, we were talking a little bit before the game. It seems like all these teams you're playing in the playoffs are from your area you grew up in. You played Rosemead. You're playing Alhambra. What's that been like?
So I grew up in a small town, Temple City, just southeast of Pasadena. It was a football town. Friday nights, and this was 30 years ago too.
Yeah.
So Friday nights when there was a football game, everybody went. It wasn't, what are you doing? You're going to the football game.
Yeah.
The first game we play is Rosemead. Rosemead, coincidentally, my junior year, they broke my leg. I played Rosemead forever. My junior All-American years, when I was, I think, 10 years old, we played for the championship. We played Rosemead, the Rosemead Rebels, and we tied 0-0.
Oh.
So we beat Rosemead in CIF, and then we get, Cantwell Sacred Heart out of Montebello, another school that's 5 minutes from Temple City. And then, we beat them, and who do we pull? We pull Alhambra, which is the neighboring city of Temple City.
Exactly.
So it's been kind of exciting for me. We get 3 San Gabriel Valley schools. I don't think our players, our students know, anything about that area, but for me, it's definitely special.
Now, if you win, or when you win, I should say, who would you guys possibly face?
So Inglewood versus Esperanza is the other side of the bracket. Both 2 very good teams. I don't know who's going to win that. Inglewood's going in at 12-0, so they probably are favored. But Esperanza, their league is legitimate. Esperanza, I think, was a number 3 or number 4 out of that league. But the competition they faced, it makes it kind of even. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'd face either team. The biggest part is we won both coin flips, and when we win this Friday night, we get the championship home game at Ramona on Saturday.
So there could be a possible Ramona home game for that's incredible news.
It's incredible, yeah.
Well,
but we have to get past this one, and our focus is on Alhambra, 100%.
Well, take care of all your neighboring schools that you grew up playing against. And we hope to see you in the CIF championship. I think, I'm saying because I want you guys to win. I'm a local guy.
Too.
I'm a Ramona Ram, but the whole community's behind you, Coach Mush. And I'll tell you, you've done a great job with the program. And we're looking forward to years to come.
Thank you.
Well, he's Ken Mashinsky, and we're going to have the game of the week, the semifinals, as Ramona's going to take on Alhambra at Ram High. It'll be on Riverside TV, game of the week at 7 p.m., and we will be on all media platforms. Check us out on all TV stations. Good night, everybody. That's been the Coach's Perspective.
The Community Police Review Commission was created to promote public confidence in the professionalism and accountability of the City of Riverside's Police Department. The commission consists of an all-civilian panel of members from across the city. The commission's roles include advising the mayor and city council on all police relations issues, reviewing and investigating officer-involved deaths, receiving complaints, and conducting hearings on misconduct against sworn Riverside police officers, making policy suggestions, and bringing community concerns to the attention of the Riverside Police Department. If you're interested in learning more about how you can serve or for information on the commission, visit riversideca.gov/CPRC.
And welcome to the Coach's Perspective here on Riverside TV, as we've got a great one this week as RCC is in the semifinals of the Southern Section, and I have Colby Fitzgerald here joining me. You guys are on a magical run. I think 30 years ago, RCC was a national champ, and you guys are on pace to do that again.
Yeah, we're just taking it one game at a time right now. So focused on Mount Sac right now and see where that goes.
Now, there was all this big hubbub about this, the league championship versus Saddleback, and you guys went out and really took care of business. What happened to you guys?
We had a good game plan, and they're a good football team, so we might see them again. And we just kind of clicked on all sides of the ball, and we're just flying around on practice, really. It started in practice. That's where we focus on the game. The outcome of the game is going to be won or lost throughout practice. So we just really had a good week of practice, and it showed in the game.
Well, right now you lead the team in tackles, over 50 tackles on the season. You guys are ranked number 1 in the state, number 1 in the nation by JC Gridiron polls. You come from Servite High School. That's in the Trinity League. Yep. You're a sophomore, but when you came and played college football, was there a huge difference between the Trinity League and college football?
Not really, because once you get to Trinity League play, anyone can beat anyone at any given Friday. So same thing with college. You take a team lightly, they'll take the W for that game. So
now you played at Hillcrest, you played at Marietta Valley, you ended up at Servite. You're a local guy. What made you? How did you end up at Servite?
It's a good environment over there, and ultimately, it just brought out the best in me. You want to play at that high level and be ready for college.
Of course.
That's kind of what led me over there.
Now, what brought you to RCC? Was it Coach Kraft, or was it the winning tradition? Tell us a little bit how you ended up from Servite to RCC.
It's definitely proximity to home, first of all, but the tradition for sure. Took a visit, and they kind of showed me the environment, really blue-collar environment, and I feel like I fit in there, and they just helped me and help everyone become the best versions of themselves. So, yeah, the blue-collar environment for sure.
Now, I look at the roster, and it's peppered with guys from all across the world, not just the country, but they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like the UN in practice? Do you hear different languages or different dialects?
Nah, we like to joke around with the guys, but, they ultimately came here to get out to the next level because they know what kind of environment it is. So,
Now, being ranked number 1, you guys have a huge bullseye on your back, but what has been the mantra of this RCC team from the very beginning to now? Has it been a national championship, been a state championship? What has been the ultimate goal for you guys?
Just becoming the best versions of ourselves. Coach Kraft's big on blocking out the noise, the number 1 rankings, you got targets on your back, all that nonsense. So we like to just focus on ourselves. Did we use the right technique each and every play, and how we can become better versions of ourselves. So.
Now, RCC, they always talk about the offense because they put up a lot of numbers. You got Irwin, you got Barledge, you got Kennedy, you've got a lot of weapons on that offensive side. But can you tell us a little bit about the defensive side? Tell us about some of your guys, some of your dudes that you play with that make this team so deadly on defense. I mean, you stopped Saddleback, who had Chance Nolan, a local guy, played at Paloma Valley High School. I mean, tell us about some of your defensive dudes.
Man, the DBs really clicked last game, and they kind of just played with confidence, and that confidence is built over seasons. So the DB's been clicking. We got Kue Olatoa, Zechariah Holyfield, all those linebackers, and we kind of just elevate each other's play, feed off each other's energy. I mean, got James Hansen in the center of the defense. I mean, so the D-line's taking care of business, the linebackers, and when we're all clicking, it's fun to play on Saturday.
Now, when you have offense and defense, and you talk about the season, undefeated, who gets more of the accolades in practice with the coaching staff? Is it the offense or the defensive guys?
We like to say the offense is pampered at practice because Coach Kraft's an offensive guy, but it goes hand in hand. We both go back and forth and kind of just, play off each other's energy.
Now, you're a sophomore, and what are your future plans after leaving RCC?
I'm pushing any plans aside right now, focus on the season, and I'll evaluate that at the end of the season.
That's really good coach speak. I'm sure you've been taught well by your coaches to say those things, but honestly, what are your goals? Do you want to win that national championship or the state championship? Does that drive you?
Not really. Of course, that's an outcome that we want, but we want to be the best versions of ourselves, like we said, and just grow in all aspects of the game. So, of course, that outcome, it's like the sun sets in the day. That's going to be an outcome whether we win or lose, and that's going to be settled at practice. So
now, Coach Kraft has a storied history at Palomar, a storied history at San Diego State, and he's really, really turned it around in the last decade at RCC. He's a little bit like Bill Belichick. We as reporters are guys that want to. He's hard to talk to. What's he like besides? We see him as one guy. What do you see him as?
Oh, for sure, the head man of the whole organization. He's very businesslike, and blue-collar environment is what he builds. So it's kind of like once you're at football practice, it's business time. Let's handle business.
So he's not. There's no like funny thing you can say about Coach Kraft.
We have our fun with him, but when it's time to handle business, we handle business.
And talking about RCC, what has your experience been like there for the last couple of years?
So many relationships that we've built with our brothers. I mean, like it's gonna last for a lifetime. The things we go through at practice, like we're literally crawling off the field at the end of practice because how hard it is, and that's something that helps build that bond. And so we just kind of have fun with it while we're there and just keep going from there every practice.
Now, you're playing against a very good Mount SAC team. In fact, if you talk about the programs in Southern California, for all time, Mount SAC has to be in that conversation. What are you guys going to do against this Mount SAC team, and what are you expecting from that offense?
I expect our offense to click like they did last week. They've really been in the groove lately, and we're really just going to focus on ourselves this week, focus on the bigger picture of growing in all aspects of the game, and just stick to our game plan.
Now, there's a possibility of 3 games left. Is that how it is?
Yeah.
So it's a Final Four in the Southern Cal and then a Final Four up in the Northern Cal. Is that the way they do it? Now, you have an opportunity to play Saddleback again, and it's really hard to beat somebody twice in a season.
Yeah.
I know you're looking towards that first game against Mount SAC, but in the back of your minds, do you guys think about that Saddleback game and what you could see them potentially again?
We're just really focused on the task at hand.
You're giving me all the same answers.
Yeah,
Come on.
no.
You got to get some juice out of you here.
But if we do see him again, I feel like we'll be prepared and really going to work for that win in practice and work to be the best versions of ourselves.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure talking with you. We're going to have your game here in just a couple minutes, but we're looking forward to seeing RCC in the semifinals of the Southern section and hopefully moving on. So thank you very much. He's Kobe Fitzgerald, and I'm Jeff Gorham, and this has been the Coach's Perspective here on Riverside TV.